Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Today we have the more brandy. Yeah, I've got a few more days of that, and it's back to whiskey for a long, long time. The Christian Brothers Grand Reserve VSOP, very smooth, old, pale brandy. The Christian Brothers started doing sacramental wine in 1882 in California. Then in 1940, they expanded to brandy. Then in 1987, they turned over their operations under contract to Heaven Hill, family-owned distilling company, Heaven Hill of Kentucky. All right. I bought this bottle at Dorignac's for $14.99. Let's see here. VSOP. Well, I know the VSOP is older because I saw it on the market a few years ago, and then last year the Sacred Bond hit the market. So CB, Christian Brothers, you might have seen the Christian Brothers wines. You might have attended a Christian Brothers school. Okay. Sacred Bond, bonded brandy. There's the old Christian Brothers distillery, winery. Beautiful label, bottled in bond. 100 proof. Whoa. Hasta la vista. Anyway. All right. Whoa. Almost dumped it in the other one. I'm just going to sit here and wait on Nate. I'm going to wait on Nate. Conflicted Grace says, hi, CG. All right. Now, tomorrow I'm not going to do a Dawn Busters. I'm not going to have time. Maybe later today, and that's doubtful, but maybe later today I'll do an afternoon one, and I'll skip tomorrow, right? I'll just, because I ration these out, I sort of like have a schedule. So I could skip tomorrow and then just resume taste challenges on Tuesday with the Sacred Bond versus Paul Masson VSOP, and then Sacred Bond versus what's that other one I have? Oh yeah, the Saint Remy. Now you can see that the, oh, this is too much. It's about 2 ounces, 2 ounces, 4 ounces. Ooh. You can see the Sacred Bond is darker. And I put a link for Heaven Hill. They have such an extensive brand portfolio. Like you could spend hours reading their website and looking at their brands. I am not kidding. I kid you not. Believe me, you believe you me. I mean, it's just, it's craziness. Christian Brothers. Now they have the Christian Brothers dessert wine. You may have had their, okay, let's see. At Dorignac's, I bought their cream sherry, and I believe it was the dry sherry or the golden sherry. They're all 18%. 18%. That will knock you on your, but they have 3 sherries: dry, cream, and golden. Ruby port, never had it. Tawny port, never had it. Never seen it. Love to try it. Can't find it. Won't see it. Don't live in California. This is mostly a California thing. Like we get little dribs and drabs of what they make. But same thing with Paul Masson brandy. We get a little bit, right? All right, east of Mississippi, we get a little bit. You go out to California, they've got a whole. It's like it's much bigger. They even have the heart-shaped brandy bottles with like a shape like a heart. So, but we can only address what we can get, right? So that's the dessert wine, which they've been doing forever. Then they've got these flavors. What is this flavors? Christian Brothers flavors. Oh, the liqueurs, the brandy flavors. But see, there's stuff that they list. It's like brands that exist. They exist, but you don't see them. The Christian Brothers honey, Christian Brothers holiday nog. Like, where do you see this? Cinnamon whiskey. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Christian Brothers. Cinerator, hot cinnamon whiskey. Cinerator, not incinerator, Cinerator. 91 proof. Yikes. I mean, you know, it's like just look at their flavored. Get on Christian Heaven Hill. Look at their flavored beverages. I'm telling you, this company is incredible. And then, like, I'm just going to look up Brandy. Just Brandy. I'm looking on their product specifications, which is mostly used by wholesalers, right? Heaven Hill has information related to the shipping and warehouse specifications of our products. Please select a product or product family for additional information. So, like, if a distributor is ordering things, they'll look this up. So they've got Christian Brothers Brandy, which I'm addressing now. Coronet. Remember the Plymouth Coronet? Or was it? Yeah, Plymouth. Plymouth, right? Coronet. VSQ, very special quality, whatever. J. Babbitt Brandy. I've never heard of J. Babbitt. I don't live in Los Angeles. Sacred Bond Brandy. That's the one I'm doing right now. And then just Brandy. Then you hit the word brandy. Royal Brandy. With natural flavors. Oh boy. It's called 1889 Royal Brandy. Aristocrat Brandy. Aristocrat Reserve. LT Brandy. I guess limited. DeVille Brandy. Okay, see what I mean? And you look up blended whiskey. Heaven Hill blended. I have that one. Kentucky Deluxe. I've had it. Philadelphia. T.W. Samuels, I have a bottle not open, and then just all these other ones blended. Aristocrat Spirit blend. Oh, that must be Spirit whiskey? I don't know. Country Gentleman Spirit. Distilled District Pride, Distributor's Pride, Distiller's Pride, Distiller's Pride. Guggenheimer. Haller's Reserve. J.W. Dant. Preferred. We get that. I've never tried it. Kentucky Bow. Kentucky Bow Black, Kentucky Bow Green. Green label. Whoa, I've seen another green label. Will I ever see it in person? I doubt it. Kentucky Gold Spirit. Kentucky Supreme. Bottled in Bond. Mattingly and Moore Spirit Blend. McHenry. Newport. Old Mill. Paul Jones. Private Cellar. Quality House. Royal Spirit. Sir Walter. Wilson. I mean, I'm not going to go through, but it's like craziness. But I'd like to try them all, you know what I mean? Like, even the more obscure and off-the-wall brands, the one I want to try the most. People say, well, try I don't know, I'm trying to think of what it's called. Woodford. Try Woodford Reserve. I mean, but everybody can get that. That's no fun. It's the ones that nobody can get that are fun, but there's no point in reviewing it. Really. Bill McIntosh says, morning, Ronald, stay dry up there. You got some weather headed your way. Yeah, like really headed our way. Like I'm going to try to go walking before the rain starts. That's why I need to get off looking at 1,000 different whiskey brands and brandy brands and do this taste challenge. Oh, I mean, Nate is approaching. Right now, there's almost no breeze. It's extremely humid and warm. Okay, I have all the windows open. I don't run the air conditioner in October because October is the fall, right? It's cool. Ha 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 ha. You know, it's kind of like the summer. But I mean, it's on the way. And Tulane's playing at 10 o'clock. They were supposed to play at 3 against the University of Tulsa. Then they moved it to 11. Now they say, oh, they contacted us yesterday. Oh, the game's moved up till 10 o'clock and all the tailgating is canceled. We were expecting to go to the buffet. They were supposed to have all kind of good food at the tent, hospitality tent, but I don't know. Did they take a loss on that, or is that insured? I don't know if the caterers started cooking it already, you know, preparing the food. I don't know. I mean, it sounded good too. Those handmade French fries. I mean, the handmade potato chips, which are so delightful. Okay. I think you say, well, it's crazy to do a bonded brandy against a regular brandy. I mean, yeah, it's 100 proof versus 80 proof. I understand what you're saying, but let's see, just for the heck of it. They're both going to be woody, though. Oh man, Heaven Hill is like major. You know, they're big into wood aspects of their drinks. Okay, if you're not into woodiness, you might want to avoid Heaven Hill. But if you like vanilla and really heavily charred wood, oak, you might just love a Heaven Hill exploration. Because I noticed that about the Evan Williams, man. That stuff is just wood. Wood. Even the blended, the Kentucky Heaven Hill Kentucky blended was somewhat woody, and that is so popular around here. I mean, you just can't believe it. People just love that Heaven Hill Kentucky whiskey around here. Maybe in your state they scoff at it, laugh at it, and ridicule it. In Louisiana, they drink it, then they drink more of it, and then later on they drink some more of it. Okay. This one is much more candy sweet. The one on my right. This one has that, but it's much more wood, okay? And it's got more of a burn in the nose. Oh, Bill, I hope you can join us for the Seagram 7 Crown on November 1st. We gave up on the beer examinations because we had exhausted everything after almost 4 years, and I think people were getting really sick of it. And then it was turning into a fiasco or a farce. Like we were trying to come up with brands that either most people couldn't get, or if they could get it, they didn't really care about it, like the Kona Longboard and Kona Golden Wave. I said, what about those? And the reaction was sort of like, you notice how you didn't hear anything? Like no sound? That was the reaction. Meaning no interest. So I was like, ah, well, we're not Happy Days, okay? We're not going to keep the show going for the sake of the show after it's been well played out. You know, we're not going to have Mork and Mindy, and we're not going to have dream sequences, and we're not doing it. And Fonzie go to college and all of that and start cutting his hair. And we're not, you know, Happy Days is a perfect example of something that's played for too long. You know, like by 1979, they didn't even care anymore, you know. It's supposed to be in 1961 and everybody's got disco haircuts, you know, feathered hair. It was so weak. They didn't even care to get their style right. They just didn't care. I have 3 Kona flavors in my fridge right now, says Bill. I like Kona beers, and I've had the ones I've had I've enjoyed, but I just didn't see much interest in it. People's attitude was, you know, it wasn't bad. They didn't say anything negative. They just weren't interested. And I thought doing it every Wednesday night was too much. I always wanted to do it once a month, but Paul Aubert was saying, no, do it every week or to lose momentum. And But then he couldn't do it every week because the kids climbing all over him, right? All right, so just off the aroma, I think this is the bonded. And they say on the website, the first ever bonded brandy, Sacred Bond. Wrong, Heaven Hill. Do your research. I should not be able to out-research Anheuser-Busch, Heaven Hill, and Sazerac Company, like major companies. I don't have any kind of budget. They do, but I out-research them. This is not a good sign. Sorry, but back in the early 80s, there was Hartley brandy bottled in bond. Just look it up. Just type it in on a Google image search or Yahoo image search. They've got the bottles unopened for sale from whatever that outfit is that sells all those unopened whiskey and liquor bottles. Liquor.com, yeah. I mean, I didn't say it was good. It might have been terrible, but it existed. 4:23 in the morning here in Washington, says Danny. Yeah, I believe that. I've been up since 2:45. To me, brandy and whiskey have much more in common than they have in their differentiation. They tend to be around the same alcohol level. They both have that same candy sweetness, okay? Alcohol, but mostly it's like candy, like caramel candy, nougat. Of course, the brandy is made from grapes, so you get some grape skin and thing, but it really does not taste like wine. It's from wine, but it's distilled. It's a booze. It's a booze. It's a liquor. And then they have the woodiness because, you know, the brandy is typically aged in used bourbon barrels. So there's a lot of commonalities. They might affect people differently. I never drank enough to feel any effects as far as like headaches or hangover. But some people might say, oh, no, it's from wine. It gives me a hangover. A lot of people remark that wine gives them a hangover and a headache. I don't ever have any bad reactions from wine, honestly. So. Yeah, it's much more candy caramel. That tastes like Werther's Original, okay? Now, I could never be an alcoholic because I love Werther's Originals and I love caramel candies, you know, the soft craft caramel. But after eating a few, you know, I don't want any more. It's like, okay, I'm finished. So I wouldn't be a person that would just say, oh, he's out of control. He's going to sit there and drink this all day long. No, I would get sick of it. This little 4 ounces is going to be more than enough. Now, if by chance I double up later today, that'll be 10 hours from now. It'll be during halftime of LSU at Florida. And by halftime, it probably won't be worth watching, right? Because LSU is going to be killing them. Yeah, right, sure. Yeah, this is very wood oriented. It is so strong in the wood. I mean, now we're talking a big price difference. I don't know how you feel about paying $14.99 or $24.99. I just figured, you know what? I'll probably never see it again. It's one of those things that's going to get pulled from the shelves and I'll never see it. And then I'll be kicking myself saying, why didn't I buy it? You fool. Like with the Miller Red. Remember that Miller Red label from 1995? I kept saying, I'll get it later. I'll get it later. And then I went back and later never happened because it got discode and then never saw it again. Like with the 1982 to 1996 Schlitz cans and bottle label. The red, it's like a garnet. Now it's more burgundy. And it went back to burgundy. But I was like, I'm going to go back and when I exhaust this beer and I'm going to get that for my collection. No, it was gone. Never saw it again. So you can put stuff off, but you might not ever get it. Okay, this has got to be the Sacred Bond. Yes. I mean, it's so clearly Sacred Bond. And this is the VSOP Grand Reserve. Now, which one's better? I guess, you know, the Sacred Bond is a good deal better, but it's $10 more a bottle. It better be better. It just tastes like they're using like maybe better varietals. And what they do is they'll make a bunch of different brandies, and then they'll start blending them together to get the optimum flavor. They did the same thing with whiskey. You know, like practically every whiskey you drink, they do that. Then you can pay extra for the single barrel, which is supposed to mean it's better, which don't mean that. It's more of a gimmick, but people feed into it, so why not keep doing it? They would told us that on the tour. Jack Daniels, people said, is it better then? He said, no. It might be worse, but it's from a single barrel. See, oh boy, wow, you see. Whereas the blended, they're taking different barrels from different levels in the barrel house. Same thing with brandy, and they're mixing them or mingling them, as they say in Jack Daniels, to get this standard flavor, the Jack Daniels flavor. Whereas single barrel, they just pick a barrel. And I don't know, they might flip a coin and say, heads, that barrel, tails, that barrel. They pick it. Oh, okay, this is barrel number 17B. Whatever. And all the liquor put into those bottles comes from that single barrel. And instead of charging you $23.99, we'll charge you $43.99, and you'll buy it because it's from a single barrel, and that's supposed to mean it's better, and they don't. But since you don't bother researching or asking questions, you just paid the extra money. I said they should do that with Budweiser, make a single barrel Budweiser. May not be any good. Now, a lot of people are going to say, hell, Budweiser is not any good. I know people believe that, and if you think it's bad, then you should say that. I don't believe that. Okay, but Budweiser is a blended beer, okay? They blend it from different barrels, different aging tanks to get the optimum Budweiser flavor. They'll tell you that on a brewery tour. Yeah, I was reading about that Scotch, that 100 Pipers. It's not really popular in America. Stores sell it, people buy it. That's about it. In India, it's like the #1 Scotch in India. Seagram's 100 Pipers, you know, it's like a big deal. Over here, it's like an afterthought. I guess it never caught on in America. They introduced it like in 1969. But I was looking at these old magazine ads from the late 60s, and they were saying how, oh, I mean, a lot of that might be just hype, you know how that works, but they were saying our technicians, our geniuses in the lab in Scotland, they take over 100 different barrels of you know, extraordinary Scotch, and they blend them together until they get the absolute perfect 100 Piper Scotch. You just cannot believe how intricate this process is. But yet we sell it for $4 a bottle. Yeah, that is hard to believe. Now it's $10 a bottle, but yeah, it's kind of, but you know, we're talking about a scale. The scale is so big that it's not that hard to believe, because they're working on a scale that's much bigger than we can conceive of. And anyway, it's done in a scientific manner. It's not done in an art. It's not an art. Mass-produced liquor, wine, and beer is not an art, okay? It's a science. That's why it always tastes the same. It's a science. It's an algorithm. They follow a formula, a recipe, an algorithm, and they follow it to perfection, and it always tastes the same. So if you buy a bottle of Sacred Bond brandy everywhere in America and taste them, chances are it'll never taste different. Same with Budweiser. Same with Carlo Rossi Merlot wine. May not be the best, and for $12.87 a bottle, and we're talking about a 4,000 milliliter bottle, it probably ain't the best, but it's going to always be the same because E&J Brandy, Ernest and Julio Gallo, this winery, they use algorithms. Oh well. Final analysis. They're both beautiful brandies. I mean, just fabulous. And brandy's like a hidden gem, you know. I mean, some people in the liquor world, you read stuff like Proof 66 and other forums, whatever. They'll tell you, oh, that's the value area. You know, bourbon has gone off the rails in price because of the current thing, you know. But the brandy is 50% cheaper, but the quality might be equal, because price is oftentimes dependent upon demand, right? Demand drives up price. But these are fabulous. If these were whiskeys, they wouldn't be $14.99 and $24.99. No, they'd be $24.99 and $59.99. You hear what I'm saying? That's the difference. They would be that much higher. So if you're just looking for bargains, but yet high quality, I would say brandy's the way to go. I mean, good grief. Gin is getting popular. You even got gin bars, whatever. So now you're noticing that the price is not as favorable as it used to be. Okay, so you might have noticed that. But if you just want some liquor to sip on while watching a football game or a baseball playoff, I would say E&J VS, Christian Brothers VS, Paul Masson VS, you know, their baseline, their custom, you know, like if it was a car, the SE version, standard edition. Perfect, you know, and they're so cheap, $9.99. You can go to Walmart and get Paul Masson VS Grand Amber Brandy for $9.99. I mean, you're not gonna beat that. You say, yeah, but I can go get some whiskey, blended whiskey for $7.99. Yeah, you could do that, but the flavor doesn't match. It's, you know, 80% filler, you know, grain neutral spirit. It's just filler. I mean, it's fine. I wouldn't drink it just because I don't do mixed drinks. And I don't want to just taste something that's so muted. It's too muted. But the brandy is not muted. It's 100% grape brandy. It's made with grapes. And then if you're into flavored stuff, you can get the bolus of Bowls, blackberry brandy. You can get all these flavored brandies, all that. And it's not too expensive. Some of it is pretty cheap. All the you know, the apple, the peach, the honey, and some of it is all natural, some of it's artificial, you know. I'm trying to think what's the one. Oh, De Kuyper. Bowls and De Kuyper is from the Netherlands, really. It's some kind of thing about flavored brandy in the Netherlands, whatever. But and then the what's the French one? The French name, but it's owned by a big company. Leroux, Leroux, Leroux. I mean, Leroux must have 25 different flavored brandies, so that's like a thing, you know, a thing. It ain't a thing for me. You know, it's a thing for some people. All right, enough jibber jabber. Thanks for joining me with this little morning hangout. I would have guessed, but no one else is insane enough to do this, I guess. I mean, yeah, some people are. All right. Next taste challenge, whenever that happens to be. Sacred Bond. You know, we're passing the baton to Sacred Bond, which is just dynamite in every way. What are the negatives with this? This has no negatives. Like literally, this is 100 out of 100. You want to get a liquor that's 100 out of 100, like perfect, like a perfect liquor. And Ask my friend David Garlipe. Get on Alcohol Eggs on Facebook. Alcohol Eggs. Ask David if it's perfect. He'll tell you how fast he blew through this bottle. Get this. But we're going to go up against Paul Masson. Yeah, Paul Masson VSOP. Won't be much of a contest, but it'll be interesting, you know, at least interesting to me. Thanks again for watching this video production.